Is TJ Saunders one of the best defensive tackles in the 2025 NFL draft class? Let's find out. Welcome back to All Pro Football Data. My name is Jim Cobern, and we are going to be talking about TJ Saunders in terms of his analytics profile. We're going to get into all the data, all the patterns of success that he may or may not have to kind of see where he stacks up in this particular draft class. With all this stuff out of the way, let's get to his profiles. First off, starting with solo tackle, sack, and tackle for loss market share. This is the big three production traits that most interior defensive linemen have. And when it comes to Saunders, he tested pretty well. 91 in terms of solo tackle data, 91 percentile in terms of sack data, and then also 94 percentile in terms of tackles for loss. He doesn't quite hit the all-pro averages, all of the all-pro averages, or the Pro Bowl averages when it comes to his solo tackle data, but he is very close. Just because you don't end up within the averages at the position doesn't mean you can't, end up becoming an all-pro or Pro Bowl type player. But at least in terms of his production traits, he has all the traits that you're looking for in terms of a potentially special interior defensive lineman. Then when you get to his interception, pass deflection, and forced fumble market share, this is one area where he does have a couple concerns in terms of his forced fumble market share. Really good in terms of interception data, 83 percentile there. And then, of course, in terms of pass deflection data, he was 80 percentile. And then he was 41 percentile in terms of forced fumble market share. When you look at all of the averages at the position, he doesn't hit every single average. The forced fumble market share drops him a bit compared to his other data in his profile, but these are still good numbers. I mean, he still is within range of where he needs to be. It's just his forced fumble market share is a little bit lower than you would expect. Most really special defensive tackles have a decent amount of production when it comes to forced fumbles, especially compared to their teams they played with in college, and that is what that particular number is looking at. Then, of course, we get to age and competition data. By far, probably the biggest hallmark of my data work compared to other people is I look at how old they are. I look at their production for their strength of schedule and their strength of team based on their various data points. And taking a look at his data here, his age score is 93 percentile. His MSA rating is 97. And his pass score is 95 percentile. Keep in mind, the pass score is the collective production score. It takes a look at every single metric, whereas MCA takes a look at just the solo tackle, sack, and TFL. The most important production traits at the position that he's playing is those traits, and he does extremely well in terms of his tackles, his sacks, and his TFL. Despite the fact he does have some inconsistencies, he still tested really well from that perspective. Then when you get to athleticism traits, this is one area where Saunders is a little questionable. 72 percentile in terms of his explosive lower body strength score. He did not run a 40-yard dash at the combine, but he does have a estimated or expected 40-yard dash on NFL Draft Scout that put him at about a 58 percentile in terms of speed for his size, and then a 49 percentile in terms of flexibility for his size. If he goes to his pro day and runs well, I will adjust these data points. But despite all the other sort of things that you're looking at here, that's the biggest concern. He has not tested with elite level athleticism in terms of his speed score or his flexibility score, which entails both his speed and his flexibility, the short shuttle and the three cone. Based on his numbers right here, he looks more like a starter than an all-pro player based on his overall data traits because of this. But still a solid profile, still a profile that can become an NFL starter. It's just that he doesn't quite hit the elite numbers that you are expecting for a guy like him to hit based on his overall data profile. And then lastly, we get to a metric comparison for TJ Saunders. Taking a look at his data here, now he had pretty much not identical, but very similar to Drake Nevis. He is a former defensive tackle who played for a couple different teams in the NFL. They have very similar data in terms of, solo tackle, sack, and TFL data. Their additional market share, Nevis actually did a little bit better than Saunders in many ways. Their age score is similar, but the biggest thing I really wanted to highlight between the two and why the comparison makes much sense is athleticism-wise. Very similar profile here where they both have above average explosiveness, slightly above average speed, and then their flexibility is give or take above to slightly above average, with an overall EAV or expected approximate value score of 99 percentile. So this just goes to show that if he doesn't, in fact, have a really good 40-yard dash time and doesn't have a really great flexibility time, this is going to affect his overall potential at the next level in terms of what he is at the next level. Because if he's not an elite level athlete, it puts him in the sort of starter category. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that does take him out of consideration as sort of a top 10, top 15 pick, which is what his production indicates he might be. Until we get that information verified, this is just sort of the best comparison based on the information we have available right now. But with all this stuff out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, my name is Jim Cobern. You can check out my other work at patreon.com/jcoburn. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you really love this channel and you love these videos and you love this content, share it, please. Like, people that love football content, love the data side of things, or just people who are new to this sort of thing, just invite them to this, because this is the type of content that you will not get from the mainstream media. This is the type of content that honestly will make you look like the smartest man in the room, because it just does, because of how correlative a lot of these numbers are to a certain extent. With all this stuff out of the way, again, I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.